It is refeed day. We have got a full day of eating going down, a lot of food going in today, and in this video we're going to go over everything you need to be known about refeeds. As you can tell, it is very early in the morning. I am just out of the shower, just getting meal one prepared. But plan of action for today. So we are 12 days out. We have got a big new prep low this morning of 62.3 kilos, and the previous prep low, which was yesterday, was 62.6 kilos. So a big drop in the scale once again. A new prep low. We are very flat. This morning shots were very flat. Definitely the last few days been feeling it as well. And what we are like 1.8 kilos down in the past like week post show, so quite a lot of body weight, and a big feed going in today. So plan of action. Sorry, got a bit of hair in my mouth. That's lovely. We are 12 days out. Refeed time. So baseline training day carbs are 200 grams of carbs. We are having 475 grams of carbs today, which is absolutely lovely, and I'm very much looking forward to it. So a lot of food, and that is simply just based off past data that we've ran and refeeds that we've run in the past. So pretty assertive with today. We were planning on doing like a 2-day refeed, so today and tomorrow, but it will be a case of kind of assessing how today goes, assessing how kind of body weight goes, if the scale jumps up or not, etc. And that is obviously something that we want to happen. We actually want to bring up the scale in this time to actually get what we want out of this refeed. So first topic of today is, what actually is a refeed? So a refeed is either a day or multiple days where you bring your calories up to maintenance or slightly in a surplus, usually via carbohydrates, which in this case it is. Now there can be many reasons for this, which we'll get into throughout this video, but something that you need to know when you're doing refeeds, especially in a kind of prep scenario, when you do almost have like a limited amount of time, and when you are setting the timeline out, is when you're doing refeeds, diet breaks, high days, etc., you're taking yourself out of the deficit. You're not like, fat loss is not occurring. You're putting yourself in a maintenance / slight surplus. So you need to account for this. Now, many reasons why you can refeed, and there's many reasons. You know, psychological benefits, which is probably the biggest one, to be fair, but especially for us, the phase we're in right now, deep into a contest prep, in contest lean condition, just to freshen up, especially at this stage, you're going to build up a lot more kind of diet fatigue, being a lot more leaner, pushing the boat, like we've been digging pretty hard. So it's just taking ourselves out of that deficit for a day or two, freshen up a little bit, especially we're running extremely fat. When we have peak week starting in a few days, we don't want to start off extremely stringy, flat, etc., where we're digging ourselves in a hole that we can't get out of. So that is the kind of importance of that. So that is the introduction to the video. The plan for the day, the total macros for today will be on screen. 190 protein, 475 grams carbs, and 45 fat. So let's kick up meal one, and I'll show you what we have. Oh my lord. Am I dreaming? Oh my lord. That is bloody beautiful. A prep man's goddamn dream going down. So that is meal one. What do we have? 47 grams of protein, 12 grams of fat, 70 grams of carbs in meal number one. Absolutely beautiful. So what do we have? 5 Snack Jack caramel rice cakes, the fucking goat, they taste absolutely amazing, with 80 grams of raspberries, 15 grams of dark chocolate, and 60 grams of whey. Big motherfucking bosh. Now when it comes to refeeds, another tip as well is making sure we're using the exact same food sources. Now obviously I would usually have sourdough in this meal, but I didn't have any this morning, so that's why I just subbed in the caramel rice cakes, because I had some in there. However, I use them on peak week, I use them on show day. I know they digest super well, which is the most important part. So when you are having refeeds, you're going to see a lot of people kind of get digestive issues with that, with simply just introducing food that they haven't used before and that they know doesn't digest well with them. So that is what we've got going down for meal number one. Gonna sit, enjoy this absolute masterpiece. Once again, a prep man's goddamn dream going down. Let's get it. Right, the meal one feast has just went down absolutely beautifully. But especially when food's higher today, really prioritising getting out on some steps, good amount of steps to aid digestion, making sure everything's sitting well, and that first meal sat very well. So just got some notes here regarding refeed so I don't miss anything. But topic number 1 is, when should you refeed? What context should you refeed? So as we kind of discussed, especially the stage we're at right now in contest prep, the later stages of contest prep, when I am in pretty much stage condition, I am in stage condition right now, protecting the look is key. Okay, so as we approach stage condition, learning when to back off the gas pedal is key to protect the look and make sure we don't crash. You know, if you think about it in the context of a car, when to hit the brake pedal, take ourselves out of that deficit, freshen up, refeed, get into that maintenance, slight surplus, drop off a bit of diet fatigue, and then push again, which is exactly what we're doing here. So we are 12 days out. We've been pushing quite hard for the past week, pulling food down, baseline, cardio's been high, etc. We've seen new prep lows, we've seen new condition coming through. However, the physique has just been fading a little bit when it comes to, you know, the look as well. And that is things you need to assess, is scale weight and visuals when you're looking to implement the refeed. Now, being flat does not mean that you need a refeed, okay? You need to get flat or else you're going to stay fat. It's that simple. So it's really a case of, it's a lot of context regarding whether you should implement it or not. But, you know, if you're at the back end of a diet or prep and you're quite flat, really flat, however, training performance is still good and you still need to pull off and you have more fat loss ahead of you, do you need a refeed? Probably not. You know, like, there's context to this, and learning how and when to implement the refeed at the correct time is crucial towards having a successful diet or prep. Now, another reason why you may implement a refeed is to slow down the rate of loss. So, as I said, you're taking yourself out of that deficit. If you are losing at a much faster rate than you anticipated or have planned, and you need to once again back off that gas pedal a little bit, that is where you can implement a refeed day to slow down that rate of loss and making sure you're not losing at a kind of faster rate than you had planned, pretty much. As well, if you are flatter on a certain body part, i.e. in most cases it will probably be the weaker body part, so if you have like a weaker muscle group, you'll probably see that flatten off first just because there's less muscle there, and it's newer muscle as well in most cases. So, and if you have certain body parts that are leaner as well, and when it comes to protecting training performance, if, you know, a certain session is kind of taking a hit in training performance, or you have a certain body part that's in stage condition leaner compared to other body parts, that is when you can look to implement the refeed days on those days to help aid the training performance as well. So for example, that is why we've done that today. We actually originally had this refeed planned tomorrow on push. However, my legs have been flattening off quite a lot compared to my upper body, so we actually moved it forward a day. Today we have legs, so that is another reason for it as well, to help fuel that session and bring a bit of fullness back to the lower body especially. Now, the final reason is just being very fatigued and carrying a lot of fatigue. And I know a lot of people were kind of scared of that word, you know, the F word, fatigue. However, in a contest prep setting, it is super important to manage your fatigue, your diet fatigue, especially if you are actually wanting to get to the stage, get to the finish line. It is super important. It's something that you need to take into consideration. So if you're carrying a lot of fatigue, what will happen is your efforts will probably drop, your legs will feel heavy, etc. You might be holding a little bit of fluid in the look, which will blur the visuals, and it might blur the kind of scale weight as well. You might be stalling in scale weight, which most people might think, you know, you need to pull food down. In most cases, to be honest with you, it's a case of actually implementing more food to kind of drop off that fatigue that is blurring the fat loss pretty much. And that is kind of where that coaching eye comes in. And once again, coaching is much more than just data on a sheet. Yes, it's that data is super key. However, using the visuals to coach an eye is super key, and that is what makes a good coach at the end of the day. So that is a lot regarding refeeds, why we use them. Right, feast number 2 going down. The largest meal of the day, pre-workout meal, about to fuel an absolute amazing Monday leg session. So what do we have going down here? God damn, look at the size of that. So we have got in this meal 45 protein, 15 fat, and 180 grams of carbohydrates coming out to 1,000 calories. So we have 125 chicken, 175 rice, 30 raisins, 20 dark chocolate, and 80 grams of pineapple. Absolutely amazing, amazing scenes. Pre-workout meal going down. And we have also just had, for the first time, Lando Morris Monster rated on the story. If you're not already, go follow the Instagram. I'll pop that up there, little plug. But yeah, rated at 7.85 out of 10, just shy of that 8 out of 10 mark. Very, very good. It was like a kind of lemon and lime flavour. Solid monster. Very, very nice. Feeling good, but crack on with Monday legs, which I cannot wait for. The best day of the week. We've got a little AJ Morris leg day on for a pre-workout watch as well. Feeling good. And that is pre-workout meal. Intra-workout, we've got a little bit more carbs in there as well. 30 grams of cyclodextrin instead of the 20 grams that we usually have. And then we've got usual intra, which is just creatine and hydroflow as well. So 12 days out, high day, meal number 2, refeed day, whatever you want to call it. And then it's time for legs, which I'll run you through as well, which is absolutely lovely as well. When you're in prep and you're in this condition, like I'm just absolutely freezing 24/7. You know, the winter months are coming. The winter arc is here, bro. Yeah, I'm just absolutely freezing. That's why I'm wrapped up all the time. But time to feast on this large pre-workout meal. Let's have it. Right, we are just finishing up this pre-workout meal, but 2 things that I do before my sessions, which allow me to get absolutely everything out of my sessions, is first of all, I switch off from the outside world. And 2, I envision my sets, my workout. You know, I've got something in my, but as I was saying, I switch off from the outside world. My work's done. I switch from, especially as I coach myself, when, my morning is like filled, like my day is like filled with training, getting back to training clips, etc. It's very easy for me to be in that coach mode 24/7. So check-ins are done, clients are responding to all this morning. That's why I do get up early, get everything done early, so I do have this time to almost kind of be selfish. Couple hours in a day where it's my time, my training time, to give absolutely everything, especially in the days for contest prep, retaining my training. If I want to be doing that, which I am doing, it really does involve absolutely every single bit out of me, and I need to be selfish with that time and prioritise that time. So switching off from the outside world, no matter what the fuck is going on, no matter the stresses, no matter what you have to do outside the gym, should not even be a thought in your head. You need to switch that off, and the only thing you should be thinking about is putting 100% into your training sessions. Once again, especially when you're deep into contest prep, it is of even more importance because you don't have the energy or mental space to be thinking about anything else. It's that simple. So, and as I'm eating this pre-workout meal, as I'm driving to the gym, when I get into the gym and I write my logbook out, like I'm literally envisioning my sets. Today I'm going to go in, I'm going to retain every single fucking set. There's not going to be a single rep dropped, especially with the extra bit of food. Like, use that as a little bit of more confidence going through your sessions. Like, if I didn't have more food going in today, I was still going through the session aiming and retaining my performance, but just because I have that bit of extra food, like I'm just using that as that extra bit of boost, bit of confidence going to my sessions. Now I'm still aiming to retain performance. I'm 12 days out. I'm not going to go and add more load, aim to add reps, etc., because that's just stupid and that will lead to injury most likely at this stage in the condition I'm in. But I will go in, retain performance, and just use this extra bit of food fuel as confidence going into my sessions. So that is all. That is how I get absolutely everything at my sessions. Big motherfucking leg session going down, about to finish pre-workout meal, taking my time, enjoying it, being present, make sure it digests well. Then we'll head to the gym and I shall run you through how the session went. So take it away. Future, be done. Oh yes, what a goddamn session. Monday legs, 12 days out, a new prep flow, and the high day. Goddamn. Sessions at this stage, they're all going to be tough, but honestly the most rewarding feeling ever. I'm pretty sure I said this a couple of videos ago, but there's no better feeling than going in, retaining performance. Like the last time I did that session, full volume, full intensity, was 4 weeks ago, and I had a kg more body weight. So to go in, to not drop a single fucking rep, yes, it was challenging, yes, it was hard, but those are the sessions that I fucking love, because those are the sessions that, you know, progress your physique forward, progress the condition forward, etc. Where you really need to tap in to just a new level once again, your mindset at this stage, the way you view everything, your ability to switch it on for your set, it needs to be there. It really does need to be there. And that's exactly the times I love when it's fucking tough, because this is where we are approaching new territories. You know, I've never trained at this body weight ever, this condition, so it's all new to me, you know, and I'm enjoying it. It's tough, but I'm enjoying it. But I know a new condition is coming. I'll pop up some photos as well that I just took. Legs just looking so grainy. Just new condition is coming through 100%. Like, I even I can just feel the condition coming. I know that might sound to like newer lifters, like, or if you haven't went for a bodybuilding prep, but like you can feel if you're getting there. And I'm getting goddamn way. Like, my face just feels so sucked in. Today especially, with this new condition has been brought in. I cannot wait for this next show. Because I do feel like a big improvement is going to be made with the look, with the condition. I cannot wait to put it on stage. So yeah, very good session. More than the job was more than done, as I say. So pop up the clips now. Extremely good session, and that is pretty much all she wrote. Like, I feel like I could yap for ages, but I'll try and keep this short and sweet. An absolutely amazing leg session, tough but rewarding. 12 days out. Post-workout meal, run through that as well while we are here, because I've got a 45-minute drive home as well, which is not ideal because there is traffic, which actually is kind of perfect time and lines up well with the kind of post-workout meal timing. So we've actually got some carbs in a post-workout meal, which is lovely, because usually this is the lowest carb meal of the day. So what do we have in the post-workout meal? We have 100 grams of sushi rice, raw weight, 160 grams of 5% lean steak mince, 80 grams of green beans, and a bit of barbecue sauce in there, which is absolutely lovely. So that is all she wrote. Post-workout meal number 4 going down, which has 90 grams of carbs in it, 40 protein, and 8 grams of fat. The next topic as well, when it comes to all about refeeding, which is also the topic of this video, is stress management and how that drops off the mental and physical stress within your body. Now, stress management, especially in a diet scenario, is extremely important, and managing that stress physically and mentally, as I just said, is super important, because obviously when you're in a diet, when you're in a deficit, you're putting more stress on your body, you're building up more fatigue, therefore you have kind of more stress present pretty much, and those refeeds kind of just drops off that stress, and it can be a big mental stress drop off, like once again taking your foot off the gas pedal, not pushing, just chilling out a little bit. It can really do have a lot of psychological stress benefits, and obviously physically as well, just reducing that kind of fatigue that is present. You know, a lot of the time, 99.9% of the time, if you are running quite flat, you've got a lot of fatigue built up, a lot of stress built up. When you have these refeeds and the stress drops off, like, first of all, the scale weight can actually drop at times because of that stress drop off, and the visuals get better just because of that stress drop off. You know, when you think about a peak week, when you're filling up kind of refeed high days in that kind of scenario, the look is getting better, you're getting fuller, you're getting fresher, which is that stress drop off. So that's exactly why, another reason on why we do implement these refeed days, and especially contest prep, is to just drop off that stress both physically and mentally. And as well, when it comes to training, obviously we just went over this leg session, it can have minor improvements within your training. Once again, as I kind of discussed before, that kind of mental benefit as well, especially if you're kind of newer to prep and training. When you just have that bit more feel behind you, you just feel a little bit better, it can really do wonders towards your effort and just helping retaining performance. Like, you know, as we kind of discussed earlier, if you feel like, you know, a certain session is dropping off numbers, implementing those refeed on those days to help retain that training performance. Once again, training performance is absolutely everything to retaining tissue, retaining fullness as well, not getting flat, not letting your physique wither away and lose muscle at the end of the day. Obviously, when we're in a diet contest prep, that you're going to be dieting for a long time, and retaining your numbers for as long as possible is super key. And 99.9% of that is a mental battle. And you know, I honestly can't remember the last time I dropped any performance because I'm being fucking stubborn. I know that with retaining my performance comes with, once again, me taking a step forward in my physique and my condition. And that is super, super important. That is the mindset that you need. Obviously, there is times in this diet contest prep that I've had to reduce numbers for the sake of retaining the quality of my performance. And that is something that you need to learn as well, to almost master, as well as knowing when to drop the load, drop the ego. Yes, you want to be stubborn. Yes, you want to hold yourself accountable to the logbook. But the goal within our training sessions is to uphold the quality of the stimulus. And obviously with that comes retaining the numbers, etc. But obviously with literally being 18 kilos down from peak off season, that obviously I'm not going to be pressing the exact same weight as I was. However, the quality of that stimulus needs to be there, and you need to retain as much performance as you possibly can. So that is enough of the post-workout yap, because I need to head home, eat the post-workout meal as you just saw. Then I shall catch you for some little more tips regarding refeeding, then the final meal of the day. So another successful day ticked off, one day at a time, trusting the process. The condition has been brought, a better package has been brought, a better bead on has been fucking brought. So let's get it. How to run a refeed. So obviously, as we went over, that is a case of increasing the calories up to maintenance or slightly above. Something to note as well, a little increase can go a long way. Now, I would say if you're not sure kind of where to or how much food to implement, I would start off on a more reserved amount, because you can always add in another refeed day, if need be, or more food as well. So that is where I would kind of start off, is increasing your calories up to maintenance via carbohydrates primarily. Usually it's only carbohydrates, protein and fat usually stays the same. And starting off with a reserved amount and then going from there, see how your body reacts, etc. How the scale weight visuals react from there, seeing if you need another day or not. Now, something to note as well, you do not need a refeed. You may not need a refeed, obviously very context dependent, but people will go full preps with minimal high days and refeeds. So that is just something to note, that not everyone has the almost luxury to have these. And at the end of the day, you need to do what's necessary to get yourself to the finish line and get yourself into stage lean condition. Or in the case of a diet, get yourself to the finish line. Obviously, when you're dieting as well, you don't have that kind of almost limited time frame that you have when you're in a contest prep, because obviously you have the stage date, the date that you're on stage. You can't just extend that by a week, unfortunately, like you can in a diet, which is also a positive when it comes to dieting versus kind of contest prep when it comes to refeeds. So most importantly, prioritize being ready, whatever that may be. Sometimes you might have to grit your teeth, get after it, embrace the suck. But for others, they may benefit a lot from refeeds. Once again, it's a case of being situational, person dependent there. So we've talked a bit about the physical benefits that refeeds may bring to the table. However, the psychological benefits actually might be even greater, in my opinion. And the main reason why, when it comes to kind of clients, I would implement refeeds, to be honest with you. So it's almost kind of like a light at the end of the tunnel. So I kind of think about it, when you're pushing, digging for fat loss, and you have a high day coming up, like it just kind of gets you to there. And once again, the priority is adherence, and refeeds can really, really improve a client's, or if you're a sales coach, whatever, ability to adhere to the plan. So with the psychological benefits it provides, it will obviously kind of increase your mood, energy, more effort being put into kind of steps, cardio training, and as a result you're actually burning more calories and putting yourself back into a kind of deeper deficit, which is once again another extreme positive to implementing refeeds. So as a result, your execution of the deficit will actually improve when you get back to your kind of baseline plan as well, which is, a big, big win. And off the back of refeeds, you can feel a lot more refreshed and just ready to crack on physically and mentally as well. And refeeds are crucial data to have, especially going into a peak week, etc. It's really crucial to gain a lot of data, how much food, etc., bring your body weight up, etc. So going into the peak week kind of how much food and carbs that you need, and the kind of tolerance to food, how much your body needs to freshen up, to fill up, etc. That is key data that you need to almost kind of trial before peak week begins. Right, the final meal is about to get chefed up, but I thought I'd come over for a chat / little outro as well. Very, very successful day. Another day ticked off, 12 days out. Today definitely made me realise how kind of ran into the ground I was before this kind of refeed. Obviously, one day of eating isn't going to make me feel brand new and fresh. But when you come up for air, shall we say, it almost makes you realise that you're drowning. You know what I'm saying? Like, if that makes sense. Definitely, feeling new lows, which is exactly how we should be when we are pushing for this last little bit of fat loss. I'm pretty sure you can even see in this angle, like my face, as I was discussing earlier, it's just a bit leaner, feeling leaner. My glutes are feeling leaner as well, which is good. But a really, really positive day. Like, I can just feel the benefits of this day already, and I'm excited to wake up tomorrow, see what the scale's saying, see what the visuals are saying, and most likely we will be, obviously, as we discussed this morning, implementing another kind of day of feeding tomorrow before we push for this last little bit of fat loss. It's not even, today is Monday, and then the peak will start Saturday, so we've got less than a week of kind of fat loss time ahead of us. So today, refeed, tomorrow most likely refeed as well, but it will be a case of kind of waking up and seeing where we are, and then after that it will be most likely spent at baseline plan, pushing, digging, getting the shovel out last little bit before the next show, seeing how far we can kind of push it pretty much, embracing the suck. And I do think, you do need that kind of degree of willpower, even when you do feel like shit. Like, I didn't really realise how shit I felt until obviously I kind of came back up for air, but I think like that's a positive thing, because I can embrace the suck, and that's why I can get in stage condition, because I can embrace the suck. I have that willpower to push on when things are hard, and these are the times that I do strive, when times are hard, and that's why I'm kind of documenting this time as well, when it is tough in prep. Like that these last few days, last week, when I've been pushing hard, has been the toughest time in prep, but at the same time, for me, it's been the most enjoyable, because I know this is where the progress is made. The progress that you see on stage, this is where it happens, and me being on stage is revealing this work that I'm putting in now. So yeah, there's a little outro. Very, very successful day. We'll show you the last meal, and that will be us for the day, but a very, very successful first day of the refeed, which was definitely needed. You can just feel like a big stress drop off. Like, I do have kind of like stress induced tics, like physical tics, which kind of come on board like post workout at times, especially when I'm pushing quite hard for fat loss. Like, they kind of just stress and fatigue build up as a key indicator. That and my sleep are two things I've learned about myself, learned about my body, that kind of lets me know that I have quite a lot of fatigue, especially after my workout, after my sessions. Like, the tics can be pretty present. But like, for example, today after my workout, I literally didn't have them at all, and I felt so like relaxed and chilled, compared to what I kind of usually feel like. So that is that. The last 2 meals of the day also have a serving of magnesium in there too, which has been super beneficial in helping me wind down and assist in my sleep quality. My sleep quality has been absolutely amazing. I'll show you the last 4 days of or whatever of my sleep score. So this was last night, and obviously this has been pushing quite hard for fat loss, reaching new prep lows. So I'm pretty sure you can see that there. That was last night. Oh, wrong way. That was the day before. Now, obviously, my deep sleep and latency, so kind of like the time it takes me to sleep, hasn't been the best some days, but that's also going to come with prep. But you can see the sleep score, the sleep efficiency, like, it has been very good. And like in peak week, like, it literally gets up to like 95 sleep score. And as you can see, I do spend a lot of time in bed. I spend about, try to get that 9 to 10 hours every single night. So you can see, this is me just swiping across the days. Look at that, 94 sleep score. What day was that? That was Tuesday. That was an absolute amazing sleep. 94 sleep score. I think that's a PR, to be honest. So yeah, actually the PR was the night before the show. Actually, night before the last show, I think I got like 96 sleep score. So shout out to the Honor Room for that. But yeah, that is all. Let me cook up this last meal and show you, because I done enough yapping in this video. It is getting serious. It is getting serious now. It is getting serious. Wait till you see this. God motherfucking damn. Nightly feast. Meal number 4 going down. Last meal of the refeed. 200 grams of sourdough, 150 mince, 80 veg, and 120 blueberries. Absolute feast. Going down, going to enjoy this. You know it's serious when 2 plates get worked out for the meal. So that is the full day of eating on the refeed. 12 days out. Very, very productive day. Very, very successful first day of the refeed as we just went over. That is all. Another day ticked off. Foot off the gas. Then we go again for the next few and final days of fat loss before the next show of the season. Blue light blockers on. Take a put on some Netflix and get a good motherfucking sleep. Talk to you soon.